So back with the main features of New Economic Policy 1991 and the watchwords of the New Economic Policy 1991 again for a revision. It is L for liberalization, privatization, P, and G is for globalization. And in that we are doing liberalization. And in liberalization we took up the acronym FITE, and in that we've talked about F, that is financial sector reforms, I, that is industrial sector reforms, and T, tax reforms. And in this we are going to do the external sector reforms. What is an external sector? It is the rest of the world sector, our relations with the rest of the world. And anything when you're doing with the rest of the world, what comes to your mind? The foreign exchange. So when you're talking about foreign exchange, you're talking about exports and imports. And then considering the policy, what we were doing initially, policy with the rest of the world was inward looking. We were going in for import substitution. So we changed gears and we came to export promotion. And how did we do that? That's what we'll see. We took some measures like devaluation. We also saw that rate of exchange, how to be foreign exchange rates to be determined partly by or partially by the flexible exchange rate and partly by controlling it by the RBI. So we called it the managed float. So all that we're going to do, we'll just have a quick look. So we're going to do the foreign sector reforms, external sector, E. So that's what we are doing. So in this we are going to do what is known as the foreign exchange reforms and the foreign trade policy reforms. So in 1991, as an immediate measure to resolve the balance of payment crisis, the rupee was devalued against foreign currency. So what does it mean? Devaluation of rupee means deliberate increase in foreign exchange rate by the government, making domestic currency, that is rupee, cheaper. And when you devaluate, when devaluation takes place, it leads to an increase in exports, and thus there's an inflow of foreign exchange. So that's what. So foreign exchange reforms started with devaluation of the Indian rupee. So what happened? This increased the supply of foreign currency into the Indian economy by way of higher exports of the domestic goods and services. So then we also noticed that the exchange value of the Indian rupee we left it to the international money market or the foreign exchange market. This was left to the free play of the market forces to determine the exchange rate. However, we also had a little bit of control over that, and that is what is known as the managed floating. So that means the RBI did have a control over there. And also if we take about the foreign trade policy, it underwent quite a lot of change in the wake of liberalization. So we did away with tariffs and quotas, which means the tariff restrictions were moderated, or rather they were withdrawn from many items, and instead of following a policy of protection to the domestic industry, now we gave them a free play. They were allowed to come in. That means export promotion. It was the survival of the fittest. And so now we had more competition since we gave up tariffs and quotas, policy of tariffs and quotas. We gave up the inward looking policy or the import substitution policy, and now the benchmark of growth was the main thing. In that, Efficiency was the main thing, sorry. Efficiency was a benchmark of growth, and it was not simply expansion. So this is what is the external sector reforms in short.